Yo, my name's Shay. I'm here with Engaging for Change. This is Henry. This is
Yo.
Miles. I'm just here to ask questions. They're just here to answer them. What are you saying, Henry, Miles?
I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
good.
So, they're just kids from Brighton. They've had some pretty interesting experience inside and outside of school. I'm just going to be asking them about it. And I'm going to start off kind of vague here. What's your opinion on Brighton? You know, people
Good.
I like Brighton. I think
Brighton's
it's
pretty
quite
good.
cool. It's got a lot of different cultures, a lot of different sections, and not the whole thing doesn't feel like the same in every different place. It all feels a bit different. It's not even that big as well. It's quite
Yeah.
a nice size.
Would you say you feel, say, like, lucky to live in Brighton
100%.
instead of
Yeah.
other places in the
I would
UK?
prefer to be living in Brighton than like Lancing or Worthing or Lewis or Eastbourne, all the places around it, which are similar to Brighton. They're like smaller, but they are quite similar. But like, I just prefer how we're living in a bigger city.
So you like that you're in a bigger city. What about like bigger cities than Brighton? Like, don't even have to be in the UK. It could be like Manny or London. It could be like Tokyo or LA. You know, what about them? Would you say Brighton's got something that they don't? Would you say they've got something that Brighton
I'd
doesn't?
say depends on where you are really, because like different towns have different like. If you
Brighton's
go
got
to a
the
town,
seafront.
yeah, if you go to a town, it's gonna have like different things that stand out when you go there. Like Brighton's got the seafront,
That's what makes
London's got the
Brighton.
Big Ben. Like, got so much different things. Like, I can't lie. I think it just depends on like your choice of like where you want to live.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we'll just sum it up. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say the quality is of curriculum and schooling, or at least from what you've experienced growing up here?
7.
In Brighton,
Yeah, scale of 1 to 10.
well, I know this
7.
isn't going to be the same for everyone because we've all got our opinions. But personally, from a neurodiverse side of like point of view, which is me, I actually think it was pretty rubbish. I'd give it like a 2. To be honest, I didn't have too much good time.
All right. Would you mind delving into the details of what made it so kind of, difficult?
Well, if I'm like talking more deep into the fact of how I've got neurodiversities, if you don't know what that is, that's like the other word for retard, basically. So I've got ADHD and autism. I'm not too special, but like I'll tell you now, not every school has the same like extra learning stuff for people. Like I'll tell you now, Varndine helps more with helps more with people like me than Stringer does. And my aim was always to try and get into Varndine, and I actually tried to switch from Stringer to Varndine and I'd failed twice. So that was a big bummer. And then I just generally think they don't really schools aren't suited for people like me. They're only suited for like completely normal people. That's like to sum it up as well as I can.
Yeah, so what you're saying is you don't think they can provide you with the benefits or changes to the system that you would need to, personalize your education to your standards, your needs, pretty much.
They didn't even try though. I'll tell you what they did for me. I didn't like the fact that I was in a classroom full of so many different people. Everyone was different. There was like exactly 30 people in every class I was in. I was
Yeah.
always at the back of every class, so as I'm in the back, I'm not getting much attention. And then like, it was just like, I just found it that there was so many like people who were like okay with learning, and that the teacher would bond with them the most. And then like the people who weren't okay with learning, they would usually just end up with their heads on the table. And then they ended up moving me out of those kind of classrooms. And then instead of like putting me maybe in a smaller classroom with less students, they just gave me forest school and board games and like Jenga time. So I wasn't actually learning anything. I was pretty much playing Cluedo every period 3. So like that, and as I'm in year 11 now, I can't be doing that in year 11. I need to be learning proper stuff. Like GCSEs are coming on.
There's a lot of terrible things in there that would be, would be good to unpack. But to kind of summarize what I feel I heard here, so you're saying like from your experiences in school, in classes, you felt that you weren't listened to, that you had these difficulties that were easy fixes. You told them about it and they just didn't do anything about it, maybe 'cause
Well, no,
couldn't
they
be
said
fucked
they
or
were
anything.
going to do something about it.
But then they just left it.
Well, they did do something about it, but they didn't really put much effort in. They were pretty lazy about it, like I said. Instead of like trying to find me a proper alternative by putting me in a classroom, because what I said to them, I want to be in a classroom with about like half the amount of people. Obviously, that's not possible. Well, it is. It just like takes a long time. But I asked them, and then they didn't do that. They kind of just put me like in a classroom with like 3 people, and we were all just like playing board games, drawing, playing football. I mean, it was fun. I wasn't hating on it, but like I was in a classroom with like year 9s, and I was a year 11. So, like for them, maybe at the moment for them, they would have been fine because they would have like panned up by the time they got to 11. But me, if I was to keep in that little room, I would have just literally not even gone to a single GCSE exam.
What you also said when you were in classes, you kind of saw everyone that didn't have the same like difficulties with just learning like you. And you saw them getting all the help and attention and shit they need. And you saw not only did you not get that, but the people around you that were like you, that kind of struggled to get their education, also were faced with the same issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
sounds awful.
I know people who are in year 11 who are not going to pass their GCSEs because they didn't get enough support. And I know a lot of people who could have probably done it. I reckon it's just like lack of trying from the teachers and stuff like that. Like, it's their job to teach us. It's not like we need to help them do it. Do you know what I mean? They expect us to do completely as what we're told. Like that's like that's just not possible. It's not gonna happen.
And it sounds like the outcome for all them years of trying was what was told, and what was actually quite a big change. You know, it would have given you a sense of hope. Maybe like, oh, I can finally like sort my stuff out, get ready for GCSEs, get it all out of the way, so I could, you know, ensure myself a good life. And it kind of seems like when that kind of alternative did take place, then it was it seemed like it just wasn't for you. It seemed like you got ripped off, scammed. You know, you didn't do any learning or anything. It just seemed like a
It did
terrible
feel like
outcome.
that.
You know what, actually, I'll put it this way. What it sounded like to me is that they essentially gave you an iPad and told you to shut up, pretty much, and kind of deal with it. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like the kids were being difficult. They were, you know, just told not to learn, to kind of shut them up so they could focus on the kids that were actually doing good. That sounds pretty awful. All right.
Yeah.
I'd love to chat more because that does sound pretty peak, but I'd like to chat with Miles now about his experience in education. So, let's go from the start, Miles. What was joining secondary school like for you?
It was good for like year 7, and then like, so for year 7 I was like doing good in my classes, like trying to stay like on time and shit, being like not missing days. And then like the teachers were like sometimes listening to me, but like most of the time I was just like sitting at the back of the class, just like with my head down and stuff. And then I was like getting moved to the front to do my work. And then sometimes the teachers would just like not give me enough time to do like what I want with my work, and like make me move on to the next tasks when I have to be slow with it instead of like rushing me. And then because of that, I like got really pissed off, and I just like started bunking lessons. Wasn't really like listening to the teachers. Was getting into loads of detentions and like seclusions and stuff, and I just wasn't going to them. And then I ended up getting kicked out because like I've got ADHD, so like sometimes if I can't do my work and I've got a teacher shouting at me, telling me to do it, it would piss me off, and then that would like ruin my whole day, and I'll just like not do any other work. and then like apart from that, like homework and stuff's hard. Like
Yeah. So what it sounds like to me, which is actually really good, is that you've had a very different experience than Henry with like education. And even though you may have shared difficulties in it, your difficulties and your problems and the things that just distracting you or not making it right, it seems like they were actually very different, which is good to hear. It's kind of
Yeah.
good to delve into two different, sides of it. So as you said at the start, kind of similar to Henry here, the microphone isn't picking it up. All right. So you
That's
said
so big.
how you started, similar to Henry. You was put in the back of the class. You was struggling to pay attention.
yeah,
You just weren't getting the attention, just the information you needed. So they did something about it. They put you in the front of the class.
yeah,
And it seems like a new problem came, which is teachers, they could get on our nerves sometimes. Would you mind sharing stories about like specific incidents with teachers where they're just kind of like taking the piss, maybe getting their feelings a
Yeah.
bit too involved in it?
no.
Nope.
Apart from teachers, they're like, do your work, and I'm like, off.
So they did something about it. They kind of put you in the front of the class, which is
Yeah,
good. But then it seems, and this is a problem that me and a lot of my classmates had a lot, is that the teachers are just jarring. It's like,
yeah,
you can't do your work in time. You're like stuck on this one thing.
yeah,
And the teacher's trying to rush you and, taking the stuff off the whiteboard that you need to look at.
Yeah, I hate that
oh,
shit.
that's
Yeah,
the worst one out
like-
of all of them.
Because that Neek at the front of the class did it before everyone else in like
Okay, it gets
whopper
priority.
time. That's one thing I always got. There would always be one kid in the class the teacher loves, and they would always act like everyone else in the class was the same as that other guy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It was always like that.
And it seems like at some point something kind of just switched, and you just kind of thought, what, fuck this. They're not listening to me. They're not helping me.
yeah.
It's me fighting my own battle, and they're just providing the war field.
They're just making it
and
harder
I'm
for us.
leaving. I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore. So, you start bunking lessons. Every kid does that. I got into it, just because I was bored. And to be honest, I have some good advice. Bunking is stupid, because
Yeah,
if you bunk school when you're bored with school, it will very quickly just turn into not doing school. I just want to
Yeah.
put that out there. The only reason I got kicked out is because I bunked once and thought, fuck this, I don't need to do school ever again. I kind of just ended up here just didn't listen enough and couldn't learn shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were misbehaving in school and then they kicked you out.
yeah.
Has it stayed like that till today? You still
Back
kicked
in
out?
school.
I'm back in school.
Whoa.
Is it same school or different school?
Different school.
Which
School is that?
Prue,
Wow.
because it's the best
Is
school.
that some kind of special alternative school by chance?
Yes, for naughty little children who misbehave in their original school.
I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm just gonna finish off here with my experience, because I'm currently looking at going into a new school in Brighton that is very similar to Peru. It's just a
Which
shed.
school is it?
Connected Hub.
What?
I'm going Connected Hub.
I'm going Connected Hub.
Who's there?
Me, Caleb, Kai Moss, and a few other people. Huh?
Alright, so it's like no one I know. Yeah, Hamza was in it.
No,
He's in
Caleb's
this,
there.
yeah.
He's chill as hell.
Yeah, I've never met Caleb. I'm
Well,
excited.
now you are.
No, I thought there'd be like one.
Where is
beach girl.
Connective Hub?
At least one beach.
In
girl.
Hullingdene, it's at Rugby Road.
Yeah, it's at the top of Davy Drive. No, it's at the top of Rugby Road,
Yeah, because
Next
top
to
of
the
David
Barely in
Drive's the
Hullingdene.
Prue one.
next to Twin
That's
Towers.
mad. So what? Connective Hub near Rugby Road.
Yeah.
Super good school. Go check it out.
Yeah.
So
My meeting's there
I
tomorrow.
go to. Well, I'm gonna try get into an alternative school like the one he's going to go to, it is a shed. It is like a big shed. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It is a big rectangle made of wood.
Yeah.
But it's got multiple classrooms in it. It's got teachers that are nice. The classrooms are very, very small, like up to like 4 people in each class. You know, it's very one-on-one with your teachers. You get a lot of time to do your work and, you know, take your time. And
I swear, this
not
thing
really
would have
rush
not
through it.
existed like so long ago. Think
Yeah.
about that. Like, this is like a really recent thing, and this is good for kids, especially like us. Sorry to buy in
We're
there.
lucky to
That's
have it.
calm. They even do, which is very surprising for like a way smaller school with like 15 students. They have a kitchen to do food tech.
What?
They have food
And the
tech.
fact that
I
they're
have
so
food
small.
tech though.
The fact that they're so small, most secondary schools don't even do food tech sometimes.
And they even
And the fact they're so small, they do
offer
it.
but all 3 sciences and biology. They say they can't do chemistry and physics on their own because they don't have a big enough lab or enough stuff to do practicals, apparently. But yeah, it's just schools like that. They kind of help you learn when you're in smaller groups. You can kind of focus on the work at hand and not what's going on around you. You can hear the teacher better. You can interact with the teacher more. You know, our one's got a school dog. You know, school dog is big.
Yeah, my school's got a school dog too.
Yeah. And
Stringer's got that as well.
It's a cat.
Loads of stuff.
No, they have a
It's
dog
very
now.
good.
What?
I can't lie. I think we're done. I think I'm going to do an outro. All right. That is it from me. I'm Shay. I'm with Engaging for Change. This is Henry and Miles. They're also with Engaging for Change. I have asked
Thank
the
you for having
questions.
me.
Thank
They've
you for
answered
having
them.
me.
Everyone, make sure you leave a like.
And
Smash
subscribe.
that like button.
Smash the like button. Make sure you
Subscribe.
subscribe or else.
Turn notifications on. Press that bell. Click
And
that
share
bell.
to your
Subscribe.
friends. Share to
Yeah.
your bloody
Share
friends.
to your
mate.
friends that are struggling in
Smash
school
that
or not.
subscribe button
Doesn't
with
really
bloody
matter.
sledgehammer.